Modern educators know they work better when they work together. In fact, if you ask a teacher how they most prefer to learn, they will say from other teachers. We use Word Online as we collaborate to create our grade level calendars, reports, and events flyers. Modern students are no different. They can learn a lot from and with each other when given the opportunity to collaborate.
That's what we wanted to focus on for our Best of Both Worlds collaborative research project. We didn't want it to just be another project where students regurgitated facts. We wanted them to be able to construct meaning about two places in the world in a way that would be engaging and dynamic.
For this project, we formed students in groups of 5. Their task was to research another country and compare their country to that country. Each of the students were assigned a different focus area: culture, history, economy, government, and geography.
To generate excitement for this endeavor, we connected with other classes in other countries so the students could interview students in that country about their culture and their history.
Our students loved the Skype connections that we made. We took their research questions directly to a group of students in Mexico to get first-hand answers.
Students were even able to use the translator built into Word Online to send drafts of their essays to our buddy class in Mexico. And those students gave my students feedback based on their lives and experiences. It was something I'd never experienced before.
They were new to collaborating on a project like this, so we made sure we explained that every student had a part to play in the completion of the research, and all parts were equally important. Having the assigned roles helped them have an area to focus on while still contributing to the final product.
When we first told our students that they would be collaborating on a research paper, they wondered how they were going to be able to publish it while working together. But Word Online made it easy.
First, I created a new Word Online document by opening Word Online from Office 365. Then I renamed the file so we could find it easily. After that, I shared with everyone in my group so we can collaborate on the paper together.
My teacher said we had to use footnoting for our sources. Since it was a research paper, there was some specific formatting we would need. It's not every day that I add a footer and a header to a Word document, so I was glad to be able to use the Tell Me feature when I didn't know what to do. We also wanted to make sure everyone knew where they were supposed to add their research, so we added subject headings for each of the different topics.
We didn't want just text on the page, so we made sure that we added an online picture to match the section of the paper, or we inserted a table to show the comparison of certain facts.
We used the commenting feature to suggest revisions and edits to the part of the paper we didn't write. This worked great when we were not in the Word document at the same time. When we were all in the document at the same time, we would use the Skype chat to ask each other questions and make suggestions.
When we told the students that collaboration is how we work as adults, I think they liked the idea of working the way we work in the real world. It helped them to see this as more than just a school project, but a way to work together.
I posted a quote by Margaret Heffernan in our Office 365 class group for students to reference as they worked in teams. A fantastic model of collaboration, thinking partners who are not echo chambers. I was proud of how they embraced that ideology to refine each other's work.
When I asked the students to reflect on this project, they said it was awesome being able to work on a document and see their other group members working alongside. It helped them to see that everyone was doing their part. They got to see other students' writing styles and got feedback on their own. And I would say this project helped them become better writers.
I want to jump in with one last thing my students learned during their project. That collaboration doesn't mean you have to all agree, but it does mean that everyone is working toward the same goal.
Communication is the heart of human interaction. Currently, because of the advancement of technology, modern communication is not limited to simply the written word. Instead, it is multimodal, spoken, written, visual, in print, or digital forms. In addition to needing to read and understand the information they are exposed to, they are also expected to be able to clearly convey their thoughts and analysis to others.
Because of the proliferation of digital and print, the need for effective communication is no longer confined to the humanities classes. Instead, to be college and career ready, it is important for students to be able to communicate clearly and persuasively with a variety of audiences and subjects. Sometimes their presentations are in person. At other times, students must be able to create a professional-looking product that can be published in a blog or magazine.
Word Online can help students create professional documents ready for publishing, no matter what the content area.
Really? How so? Can you show me a lesson where your students have used Word Online to create professional documents?
Absolutely. My students just finished an art project in which I asked them to create a piece of artwork that captured their happiest moment. Once they had created the piece of art, I asked the students to describe 1. Their personal narrative about that moment, 2. How they created their piece of art, and 3. How the art brought their happiest moment to life. They then turned their responses into blog posts. The end products are shaping up nicely. Everyone is finishing their posts this week.
Wow, this one looks beautiful. What features in Word Online help them create and publish a blog that looks like a professional did it?
Let me have one of my students walk us through it.
When I logged into Office 365, I created a Word document by clicking on the Word tile. There are templates to choose from, or I can start from a blank document. Because I knew I was creating a blog, I scrolled down to the bottom of the templates and clicked on See More Templates, which took me to a new page where I typed blog in the search box. I found a template for a personal journal that I felt would be a good fit for the assignment. I clicked on Edit in Browser and got started. While the templates offered me a few headings for the post, I needed to add another one. Just like that, Word Online let me type a heading for the section. Once I finished writing my post, Word Online has a digital writing assistant called Editor that helped me. One of my weaknesses is spelling, and I love that Editor pointed out my misspelled words. But what I love even more is that it helped me with words that sound the same. The editor is smart and read my sentence and pointed out when I was possibly using the wrong word. For example, here I have the word pair, but it's used incorrectly. It should be spelled P-A-I-R, and the editor showed me that.
This is very impressive. I love that students are learning how to use tools that will help them in the future. Your students could use these posts as part of a portfolio for future jobs or even college applications.
I thought of that. Word Online supports students in their learning and allows them to create professional documents ready for publication in a matter of minutes. Having these skills will ensure students' success when they enter the workforce. Today's students have lots of experience when it comes to using technology to create short bursts of communication, whether it's in a tweet, a story, a post, or a text. Unfortunately, they may not have lots of experience using technology to craft more dynamic messages, rich with video, text, and images.
I heard this quote at a conference I went to last week. Ask a student to create something the world will see, and he will make it good. Ask a student to create something only a teacher will see, and he will make it good enough.
Our students can produce very polished presentations when given the opportunity to present a topic that is meaningful to them and that can be shared with the world.
I heard your students did an amazing job with their presentations in front of the school board. What were they presenting? What were their topics?
You know we have 20% time each week in my class.
I've heard your students talking about it. What is that?
It's where I give students one class a week to work on a project that interests them or inspires them. I've seen some cool things happen because of it. So, as part of our persuasive writing assignment, I invited them to work in pairs to present their case for why all our schools should have 20% time.
That sounds like a great writing assignment. I'm curious though, why did you have them present it to the school board?
I look at it this way. Someday, they will be giving presentations in college or in board meetings of their own corporations. I need to start getting them ready for presenting in front of real-world audiences, not just me. Plus, you'd be amazed at how much better their presentations were. It was not the same as when they presented to me.
I bet.
The presentation content was high quality, but the part that impressed the audience most was the professional look, mainly because of the enhancement features available now in PowerPoint Online.
I'd love to see one of those presentations.
Let's have one of my students walk us through it.
First, I log into my Office 365 account and I clicked on this presentation I created on putting time to the test. The design menu appears and gives me options for creating a slide that has a lot more to it than just clip art and bullet points. That's not all. There's also a new transition called More that makes it look like I put a lot more time animating slides than I did. I have 3 slides that I'm going to use to add some animation to the clock. I wanted to use a clock so it would show the significance of the time. Now there's just a couple more steps. I created a clock, then added line shapes to move the minute hand so that it reflected the importance of time. Then I moved the minute hand on each slide. I clicked on the Transitions tab and chose the Morph transition for all 3. Now when I put it in slideshow mode, PowerPoint merges the slide together with the Morph transition.
Impressive. That's not the PowerPoint I'm used to. That's a very polished presentation.
Having students collaborate to create polished presentations for an authentic audience is a skill they will need to be college and career ready. When they leave my classroom, their presentations won't be for a grade. It will be to make a sale, prove a case, or inspire others. Just by changing their audience, the quality of the students' work greatly improved. They knew the presentation was not only going to be graded, most importantly, they knew their voice was going to be heard. Analytical skills are paramount in today's workforce. To be competitive, our students will need to be able to collect data, evaluate the trends the data reveals, and think critically about how to respond to the trends.
Yes, I was reading an article the other day talking about this. Jobs that currently require routine work are being outsourced or automated, and therefore today's students need to practice more analytical skills in classes in order to be prepared for their future jobs. We know worksheets and rote memorization assessments don't allow our students to practice their analytical skills.
Exactly. That's why I frequently create passion-based projects for students with the hope that their work will naturally include instances where they're practicing their analytical skills. Sometimes, however, I wonder whether I'm doing enough to reinforce the analytical skills that students need to be college and career ready.
Right. Just recently, my students created a project that used lots of the features in Excel Online. The students are using an Excel spreadsheet to collect information about the donations they are collecting, as well as the amount of trash they find near the wharf at Dog River every time we go. There are some great features in the Excel Online that the students didn't know about that can be helping us analyze and share our data.
Really? Like what?
Well, for the last 2 months, when I take my class to the wharf to pick up trash, I have them count out the pieces of trash that they pick up and record it in their Excel spreadsheet. In addition to charting the number of pieces we pick up, they are noting whether it has rained in the last 2 days. The students have noticed there's more trash after a rain shower. After 2 months of data, I guided them to create a chart that would show a visual of the pattern we were seeing. At first, I had them try just a basic column graph. It was a pretty good visual. It definitely showed that there was more trash when it has rained in the last 2 days. But the students noticed that it just didn't seem clear enough. So together, we tried some of the other charts. Look what happened when we tried the box and whisker chart. We think this is a much better visual for everyone to see how the rainfall impacts the amount of trash.
which helps you prove that the trash here at school does impact what shows up at the wharf. What a great project.
That's not all. The students were working on keeping track of the donors who had contributed to the fundraiser. At first, they were thinking they were going to have to retype everyone's entry because when they first created the chart, the student doing the typing entered first and last names in different cells and didn't organize them by amount. So to make a list with the person's name and donation amount, someone was going to have to retype it all manually. But I showed them how to not only sort the donors quickly from smallest to largest donations, but also how to make a single line that quickly converts all our separate cells into one line of text.
I can see using this for sorting my class information as well. This will be a huge time saver.
I know. We can sort quickly and easily with the Format Table feature. I showed students how to highlight the cells they wanted to sort and filter, chose Format Table, and then create drop-down menus that let us filter by donation. Then, once the students had the donations filtered by amount, I showed them how to use the flash fill feature in the data ribbon to make a column that includes both the name and donation amount. Just type the first line how we want it. Here we put their last name, then their first name, and the amount they donated, and then click Flash Fill. Excel fills in the rest of the cells just like we did the first one.
Nice. Then, once you have the one line with the donors' names and their donation, you can resort the cells based on the names so that everyone is alphabetized.
The analytical skills students are using with their project and the skills they are learning by using Excel will prepare them for the challenges that they will face in college and in their careers.
If the mobile world is where our learners live, it's time for us to meet them where they are. Blended learning is just one of the ways that teachers are meeting the needs of their mobile students and making learning available on demand. Blended learning gives us the flexibility and creativity to meet our students where they are and move them to their next level. One tool that supports blended learning is Microsoft Forms.
Our teachers use forums to give us learning experiences, where we get to test our knowledge and also to get a review if we need it.
Microsoft Forms has changed the way we can review material. If I miss something, it's okay. I don't feel bad for making a mistake because I know a video is going to help me if I did.
Recently, I started using Microsoft Forms as a virtual personalized review for my students. It's a different kind of learning experience that guides students through the material. I put the QR code on my door and post the link to the form for students to access after they leave the classroom. They open the form and enter their responses.
The form reviews information from our science lab that day. When I get an answer wrong, a video appears below to explain the concept. My teacher encourages us to watch the video and answer the question again.
Students feel comfortable with this kind of content delivery because they know the focus is not on getting the right answer, but on learning. It's about the process, not the product. And I like to find the right kind of video, one that's not too long, and I like to make sure it's engaging to watch. When I can, I like to make my own just to mix it up a bit. To create a virtual, personalized review, I go to Microsoft Forms and create a new quiz. Once I have named the quiz, I add my question and the choices students will select. For the incorrect answers, I add a hint that includes a video that explains the answer. Once students finish the virtual review, I can check their work and provide feedback.
I get lots of feedback as I complete the review because it's auto-graded. That way I know what I did wrong immediately, instead of waiting for my teacher to pass back a paper.
I love that I can basically skip ahead if I already know the information and spend my time in areas where I need more help. It's like the learning experience was designed just for me.
Teachers want to be able to reach all their students. To do that, they need to know where they are and what additional information they may need to be successful. Microsoft Forms is one way teachers are making learning available at their students' fingertips and on demand.
Over 10 years ago, author and foreign affairs columnist for the New York Times, Thomas Friedman, noted, "Several technological and political forces have converged, and that has produced a global, web-enabled playing field that allows for multiple forms of collaboration without regard to geography or distance, or soon, even language."
It is so true. As technology advances, I keep reading more and more about how all sorts of professionals are finding they need to collaborate with colleagues near and far with online tools. Salespeople, foresters, engineers, accountants, and lawyers alike are trying to find online collaborative solutions to manage their projects.
As educators, we must prepare our students for the workforce they will enter. Providing opportunities for students to work together on a project is necessary to ensure they have the skills they need when they start their jobs.
But I've heard so many teachers ask how we can do it. What tools can we use that will allow them to collaborate in the same way they will when they enter the workforce?
And I've been telling you how I use OneNote with my students. It makes collaboration a seamless part of my class. My students have been working on a media campaign related to an environmental cause that concerns them. The students divided into committees for the media campaign. In our OneNote class notebook, students created a section for each committee and then worked with their committee members to complete their tasks. It didn't matter if they were at school, at home, or on the bus to a soccer game. They were able to add content and thoughts related to their committee whenever it worked for them. Take, for example, the logo committee. They created different versions of the logo and added them to the notebook so the entire class could see the different options. Other teams then gave the committee feedback, which they incorporated into a final logo design.
The way they're working together in this notebook is amazing. This experience will really help them when they enter the workforce.
I agree. Let's have one of the students talk more about how she's worked in the notebook.
Our class notebook makes working on a media campaign super easy. Each committee has their own section, but we can see each other's work and offer feedback. I also love the fact that we can add videos, sways, and other content right in our OneNote so we can see everything in one place. It's a great way for us to share resources and get feedback right on the page. It saves us lots of time.
I also love the to-do tag function that helps everyone keep track of the task we have yet to complete.
I also love the feedback we get from Mr. Allen through OneNote. We can work on something in class or right after school. And when I get home after soccer practice and start working on it again, I can see his comments and thoughts on the progress we have made.
Sometimes he even uses stickers to give quick feedback. It motivates me to keep working because I know we're getting the feedback we need in order to do a good job.
Wow, all of this sounds wonderful. I'm sold. Will you work with me to set up a class notebook I can use with my students on an upcoming project?
Absolutely. Let me show you where you can go on the Microsoft Educator community to learn more. You can learn about OneNote too. Check out this course that teaches you all about OneNote and how you can use it in your classroom.